All right, we are recording. So I just want to say welcome to everybody. This is a little team Zoom meeting with our direct upline, Arnold Thompson. And just had a couple of questions, 2-3 questions we wanted to try to clear up if we could about the software. Pardon me if I will try really hard not to get into a coughing fit. I've been sucking on Hall's cough drops all day, and I'm about to throw up from those things. So. Okay, Tyler's coming. All right, so good deal. So I'll start with this, Arnold. There's been a couple of questions I know that's thrown out of, is the new software, is it artificial intelligence as well?
Yes.
So
yes, it is driven by AI. Yep.
And I know because there have been some question as to whether it really was or really wasn't. I think on maybe one of the chat groups or in the some Facebook group, they've only called it an EA. So just wanting to clarify that it is artificial intelligence. Obviously, it's an EA, but not.
Yeah, it's an EA. It's an EA driven by AI.
Yeah.
I got confirmation of that the other day. So yes, because I asked that same question.
Cool. Good
so I got confirmation that the answer to that is yes, big old yes.
Excellent. Somebody just hopped on with a phone. Who's that? Who's the 251-406-9790? Can I hear them? Barb, is that one of your guys? Do you know?
Yes, that's me. I don't know if you can hear me if I'm muted or not. This is Carlene.
Oh, hi, Carlene. Yeah, I can hear you. You're
Hi.
not. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Do I need to be muted?
You don't have to be. I probably will mute everybody, though, except for Arnold. But if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and just hop in. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome, Carlene. All right. So we've established that it is definitely artificial intelligence. So I know that there was some concern as to the validity of the software itself. In the presentation the other night, they told a little bit about it, about the software, but then most of the webinar was about team building.
Right.
And I know some people just want the software. Some aren't worried, don't care about team building. And they kind of felt like it was very heavy on the team building and pushing that rather than pushing the product. So what do you know about the software and its background and the results that it's had?
Well, none of us have a lot of experience with the software. I mean, the software is new to all of us, right? This is the first time this software is being made available to retail traders. For the last 2.5, almost 3 years, it has only been available to big account traders, i.e. a hedge fund. So it's been trading high 6-figure and 7-figure accounts for the last 2.5 years with insane results. It's been averaging anywhere from 5 to, it sounds crazy, I know, but I'm like, if it does anywhere near this, I'll be happy. But it's been averaging anywhere between 5 and 10% a day.
It's awesome.
With a max drawdown of 5%. 5% max drawdown. And you compare that to the software we've been using, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
I mean, the other software we had was incredible, absolutely incredible. I loved it. Myself and a lot of the team members that were using the settings that we were able to really kind of dial in after some trial and error. We dialed in the settings, and it was performing tremendous for us. And that's specifically Hamilton. Not many people had the account size required to jump into a Benjamin. So most people were using the Hamilton. But that product could get a little scary sometimes if there was some weird news events just because of the high frequency of the trades that it took and so on and so forth. It could get a little scary. I mean, there was times where my account was down into like 30-40% drawdown. More often than not, it came back. But when you're 30, 40, even 50% drawdown, or sometimes even more, I heard some people were even more than that,
Yep.
it can get a little scary.
Yeah.
So if this software is getting very, very high rate of returns with a max drawdown of 5%, man, I'm all for that, you know. And I mean, I can understand concerns about the software. Does it work? What are the real? That's why they're giving us a 30-day free trial.
Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of the whole point of a 30-day free trial. There's nothing better than trying it yourself and seeing for yourself, you know?
Right.
So, you know, it's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. You don't have to put any payment information in when you enroll. And even if for some reason you don't like it at the end of 30 days, just don't upgrade to a paid member and you'll be purged from the system. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can kind of understand the concerns, but at the same time, I'd be more concerned if I had to pay to try it, but they're not requiring it. And to think of it this way, think of how much confidence they have in the software to give it to everybody for free before they have to pay a dime or put even credit card information anywhere, right? If the software doesn't perform, guess what? Nobody's going to upgrade and the company's going to die before it even gets started. So you know they have a lot of confidence in the software to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just kind of think of it logically, right? So, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, if it does anywhere near what I've seen as far as the results that it's done in the last 2.5 to 3 years, everybody is going to be extremely happy. Everyone will be very, very happy.
Yeah. And that's what I've told a few people too is, you know, whether you're, yeah, I understand that you might have questions about the software. Nobody's seen it. None of us have seen it. We haven't seen many, you know, much of any results. And okay, that's fine. But like you said, we're getting it for free for a month. Try it. If it doesn't work, leave it alone.
Yeah, and we're going to get between now and the time that they actually release the software, because the software is not even officially released to us yet. And they're doing that purposefully. What they're doing is they have this pre-enrollment phase right now, giving everyone the opportunity to enroll for free. And then what they're going to be doing during this time is not only bringing on new customers for free, but also going through, they're going to have ongoing product training and stuff like that. So you're going to learn the settings. You're going to learn how to tweak the settings. You're going to learn how to set it all up. So, and how to plug it in and how to download it and everything else. So by the time the software is released to us, it'll literally take you minutes to be able to set it up, plug it in. You'll have, hopefully this is also giving people time, if they don't already have an MT, you know, a broker, and they don't have a demo account, they don't have the MT4 platform loaded, or they don't have a VPS, you know, it gives you guys time to set all that up so that when the software is released to us, you know what to do, you know how to do it, you can set it up in minutes, and you're ready to roll. And the other cool thing is you don't have to put any real money on the line. I mean, you could literally demo this with demo money. And so there's nothing on the line. The only thing you have to potentially pay for, if you don't have a dedicated Windows-based computer at home that can stay on all the time and never lose power or internet connection, if you don't have that, which most people don't, if you have that, great, you can use that. If you don't have that, you're going to want to subscribe to a VPS. And a VPS is basically just a virtual server in the cloud, virtual computer in the cloud. It's like a desktop in the cloud, right? So you load everything on. You load your MT4 platform on there. Once you get the software, you load the software on there and everything else. Everything runs on the VPS so that it runs 24 hours a day while the markets are open. And if you don't already have a VPS and you just want to set one up just for this trial period, we have, and I'm not sure if I gave it to you, Mike, but we have a very inexpensive VPS. Actually, the first month with the promo code that we have, it's $5. You get your first month for $5. All right, so yeah, you're out of pocket $5. All right, just don't go to lunch one day this week. You know, right, exactly. Eat a sandwich at home.
Don't get a snack this week. You can't.
Yeah, like I said that in the video the other day. I was like, if you get out of lunch for $5 these days, show me where, because I'll go there every day.
Right. Taco Bell and get a burrito. That's about it.
I mean, good grief. You just go to Jersey Mike's, get a sub and a soda, and it's like $10. I was like, holy smokes, it's just a sandwich and a soda. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Do you know, do you know where the software came from? Who owns it? Where did it, it just kind of appeared. You have any idea?
No, I mean, someone who knew someone who knew someone,
Somebody
created the
looked at it.
contact, cultivated the relationship. And, it's a big company. And I've also heard, and I've heard it from multiple people, so I'm pretty sure it's true, that they also own a brokerage. They also own a brokerage firm. So, if you want to, you could use them as a broker. And I know they've even put in a contract that we have ultra low commissions, no slippage. Just pretty much the best case scenario you can have in a broker. That's what these guys are going to be offering us. So is what I've heard. We haven't heard any details about that, but yeah, it's a very large company, very wealthy, very liquid company.
Yep.
And, they manage millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. And they've been using this software to trade that money for the last two and a half, almost 3 years.
Cool. Do you know?
And,
do you know how much longer we will have Benjamin, Hamilton, all of that? How much longer that will be available?
Well, we were told 30 days on Sunday. So,
okay.
I guess we're getting close to, 3 weeks away now.
3 weeks, yeah. Okay. Let's see.
I was going to ask you, Arnold, I don't know if you know this, with the other software, we were pretty much hands-free, but we had to watch the telegram, hop in, turn the software off, adjust our settings, get out at this time. Now it's open, that's kind of things. How hands-free is this software going to be? Is it going to be where we have to manage it? How much percentage do we have to manage it throughout the day, or can we pretty much set it and walk away?
I can't give you a direct answer for that for two reasons. One, from what I've heard, it's a lot more hands-free. It's closer to Benjamin, and it's even less hands-on than Benjamin is. So Benjamin Hamilton was, depending on how you had the settings. See, that's the thing, is that, Eric Garrison and I, we're very, well, Eric's better than I am. He's been doing it longer than I am, but I've turned into a pretty good trader in the last 3 years, and we have a certain style of trading. And we were able to figure out how to tweak the settings in Hamilton to a little bit more closely mimic our style of trading. And when I say we dialed in the settings, I mean we dialed in the settings, and we found a setting strategy that didn't require you to sit there and have to, keep up with the news and have to turn it on and turn it off and tweak. We didn't have to do any of that. Like pretty much the last month that I used the software, I'd turn it on Sunday night and I wouldn't look at it again until I turned it off Thursday night. That's pretty much it. The only thing I would look at is my results.
That leads me to the next question then, is for more advanced traders and then for the newcomers coming on, that's where I heard a lot of people getting discouraged, because you hear this one saying, yeah, I made $1,000 already in a month, and this one, I'm in the negative. So, well, I tweaked this and I did that, and that's discouraging to a lot of people who they're newcomers to the Forex industry. So that's one of my concerns there. Is that how it's going to be, or do we have to tune into a more veteran trader to give us these tips like you just described?
Well, I did a video explaining and showing all of the settings for our setting strategy, and I sent that out to all my personally enrolled people, hoping that they would pass it on to their personally enrolled, and so on and so forth. Because in the back office, the only people I had access to or could see were the people that I personally enrolled. So we're going to do the same thing. If we do anything special, if we figure out a certain strategy with the settings, and I'm not even saying we're going to have to do that. I don't know. That's kind of why we're doing the 30-day free trial, is to figure all this stuff out. None of us really fully know how this is going to work. That's why we all have a 30-day free trial.
Yeah.
And during the 30 days, we're going to figure it out. If it's easy, if the standard settings work, perfect. We'll just leave it. If we have to tweak a few things and we find something that works perfectly, perfect. We're going to do that. And we're going to share it with the team. So we don't hold anything back. We don't just hold it close to our chest so we're the only ones that can benefit from it. We share it with everybody on the team, and we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going into this together. We're all going into this to some degree with the same amount of information. But that's why there's no better, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no better measuring tool than to actually use it yourself in a trial and not have to pay for it. It just doesn't get any better than that, And
Right.
It just doesn't. And so that's why they're doing this. That's why they're giving us 30 days to try it out. And again, as this next week goes by with the product training and stuff like that, we'll see exactly how the product works. We'll see exactly what the settings are and what the settings mean and what they do and so on and so forth. So we'll have some idea going into it. Once they release it, we're actually able to start the trial. We'll have some idea as to what to expect. But right now, we're not going into this completely blind, but we're kind of going into somewhat
we're a little
going into the unknown. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well,
All
I
know
understand.
is how good this software is and how it's performed in the past. And I've heard that it's a lot less hands-on than any of the software we've been using. And it's performing a heck of a whole lot better than any of the other software we've been using.
That's great.
So we'll just have to wait and see.
Right. I understand that. And I understand about the hands-on. We got the 30 days to play with it. I guess let me just, when we started with the other company, it was, these are the default settings. And then the other groups that we had no idea of that was tweaking. That's what I guess I should have phrased it as, oh, well, you should have done this or done that. The more advanced traders, that's where it kind of puts a halt to a lot of people, because it's, well, if we're supposed to go by what the company is telling us and doing the default settings, and I'm not trying to put a damper on this whole thing.
Yeah.
I just like to be a little bit more clear. And I understand we got the 30 days and we're going to learn more. But as far as going with the other company, it was like, these are the default settings to find out, oh, well, you could have done this and done that. That's all that I'm trying to.
And Barbara, what I've told some people too, the way I've kind of approached that is Quicksilver was, in my opinion, was looking out for everybody as a whole, as a blanket. I've heard him say several times, hey, it's your software. You do whatever you want to with it. But as a whole, knowing that he had the wide range of expert traders to people who don't even know how to spell the word Forex, he had to find that balance and say, here's the default. This is what I recommend. Stick to that. But it's your software. You take your own risks. So we were allowed to tweak it. We were allowed to do whatever we wanted to with it. But at the same time, if you didn't know how to tweak it, if you didn't know anything, then just stick to the default settings. That's the way I explained it to people. And I'll apologize too. I don't know if I got that video from you, Arnold, where you explained the settings. I completely missed it. So I didn't pass it on to anybody. So I don't know. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. we're gonna start fresh here in a little while. But
yeah. It's kind of, some people got it. I sent it to every email I had in my back office. Some people got it. Some people didn't.
It's very possible that it slipped. I get about 50 junk mail emails in the mornings alone. So it's just, I may have just let it slide. So I don't know. I'll move on. Oh, here's a question Terry Lynn asked. If we are in drawdown now.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, ma'am.
Arnold's trying to say something. I don't know if he's muted.
I'm not muted. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
Not? Oh, okay. Okay, now you can hear him?
now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
I can.
Okay. You can or can't, Barbara?
I can.
Okay. I know what Eric and I are going to do with this relaunch, and we were kind of starting to do it, or we were preparing to start to do it until, and literally we talked about it last Thursday, and then everything kind of happened Thursday night. So, but we are going to have a specific private Telegram channel just for just for the trading side of things. Like, I know he had the High Rollers Telegram channel, Team High Rollers, with the other thing. And that just, to be honest with you, I ignored the whole thing. It just turns into a mess with 100 people on there sharing their opinions.
Yep.
And most of them don't know what they're talking about. So I kind of ignored it. I was hardly ever in there. I think I typed maybe 2 things the whole time.
Eric wasn't in there very often either. So
no. So it just turns into a bunch of noise. So we're going to be, we're going to have a private, kind of a broadcast. It's not going to be an open forum. It's going to be basically just a broadcast Telegram channel. And if there's anything that we do specifically, or if we're having team training or anything like that, we will send it out in that Telegram channel. So once we kind of get launched, once the team's in place, once everything is set up, then we'll finalize that. The Telegram channel is already created. We just haven't really started publishing yet, publicly talking about our publishing it. So we'll do that once, and it probably the same thing. It'll just kind of trickle down the line type of thing. I'll send it to, the people that I personally enrolled, who is they need to take on the responsibility to send it to the people that they've enrolled, and so on and so forth, to get people plugged into that Telegram channel. But that'll be probably the best way to communicate. And so if we do any videos, or if we have any announcements, or if we have any training, or if we have any specific, setting tweaking, or if we have, I'm not even saying we're going to have to do that. I don't know. The standard settings might be perfect and we don't have to worry about it, So, but we'll do that just to
Do you know, Arnold, if it's just the one software, or do you have a choice like Hamilton, Benjamin, and so forth?
Right now, it's just the one, but there's already 3 or 4 other ones in the wings that they'll be rolling out over time. But right now, it's just the one.
Cool.
Okay.
Question in the chat says, what if we're in drawdown now? Do we work out of that before using the new software? And I think I can answer that one. The question would be, yeah. You want to try to get yourself out of that as much as possible. I would say probably the week before, start closing things down as much as you can. Hopefully nobody has to take a loss, but if you do, hopefully it's small. But just keep your software on and let it do its thing. You may have to increase your grid so that you don't get into too much drawdown. But Arnold, do you want to?
Yeah, what I would do now. The other thing is too, if you are using Hamilton and or Benjamin, we have access to it for probably the next 3 weeks or so. Mm-hmm. So technically, we have access to it, but somebody, i.e., the guy that caused all the problems in the first place, he is kind of screwing around with people's licenses. So every now and then you'll see that the software isn't running. The way to fix that, the way to fix that is to go into your back office. It's an easy fix, but it's kind of a pain in the neck to have to keep doing it. But it is an easy fix. If you see that it stopped running, go into your back office and reset the license. On the license page, your MT4, MT5 license page, just reset that number. You can hit the up or down arrow once or twice, hit save, and then put it back to the original number, hit save again, and then go back to your MT4 and remove. I would remove Hamilton before you even reset it, but remove and redrop Hamilton onto the charts that you're trading.
Yeah,
it'll start working again.
That's what I do. Is I go back, I delete the last number of the license, and then I type it back in, and then hit save, and then I go back to the charts, and I just drag Hamilton back on, and it replaces it, and it's up and running again. So.
Yep. So it's an easy fix. It's just, it's kind of a pain in the neck that you have to do that, but
it's happened to me almost every day this week.
Mr. Slick Silver is playing games. He's playing games, but it is what it is. I guess technically he's following through on his promise to give us access to the software, but it doesn't mean he can't play games with everybody. It's just stupid. It's childish. But, that's one of the reasons why they had to move on from him. He was very difficult to work with.
Now, Arnold, you're having a webinar in about a half hour. Is that correct?
Yep.
Well, yes. The one about this, I'm not hosting that one. That's someone else is hosting that one. I have our TNT call at 9 o'clock tonight, which is the TNT strategy that Eric and I are helping people
Oh, I
with.
see. Okay.
So we have our typical Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time call, but then there's another team call about this at 9 o'clock also. So.
A couple quick questions. I know, okay, we have 10 minutes left, so we'll have to make this fairly quick. Some people have had issues with some of the leaders, not wanting to work with some of the leaders. I don't know if we need to mention any names specifically, but I know one is directly in our upline on above you, and then one of the was well, I'll mention names. We're all adults here. Just, we're not spreading rumors or anything, but I know some people don't like Josh. Josh gets a little mouthy sometimes, a little cocky, a little arrogant sometimes, I think.
Yep.
I like the guy. I've never had anything personal with him, so I don't have any reason to say anything negative, but I know some people have had issues with him in the past. And the other one was Mahmoud. I don't know him from Adam. I know who he is. I know what he looks like. But I know some people have said that they've had some issues with him, and he was a little shady. And, you're going to hear all kinds of stuff, and I don't know. I don't know what's true. I don't even know if you've met Mahmoud or not. But
I haven't met him personally. No, I haven't met him personally. But, it is what it is, if you ask me. What I do know about him is that he's a stand-up guy. If it wasn't for him and his wife, this company would have, well, not this company, the old company would have shut down 3 months ago because of what Dave had done. Because of what Dave had done, it locked up the bank account. They had no access to the money. Hassan and his wife.
Mahmoud? Is it Mahmoud or Hassan? Or is it Hassan Mahmoud? I don't even know what his name is.
Well, all I know is Hassan. It's Hassan Mahmoud, I think, is what. Yeah.
Okay.
He and his wife paid over $550,000 out of their own pocket the last 3 months to keep the doors open and to keep affiliates out in the field paid. And Dave didn't contribute at all to that, and he refused to contribute to that. And that was really kind of the final straw. They said, "We can't work with you anymore. You caused the problem. We're paying for it, and you refuse to help." And so if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had AI Global. It would have been gone over 3 months ago.
Wow.
And he wants to help people. And then he brought on Sal, who was working as a consultant with AI Global. All the good changes you saw in the last month with AI Global, that was because of basically the new guy that just came on that originally was a consultant with AI Global, and now he's one of the part owners. He became part owner with this new platform. So I truly believe we're in good hands moving forward. All I can go by is the personal experience I've had with them, and so far it's been good. But it all boils down to the software. If the software works, we'll all be happy. We're all in good shape. If the software, if it doesn't perform in the next 30 days, which I believe it will, I mean, it's not going to just all of a sudden after 2.5 years of performing phenomenally just stop performing well. So I believe it's going to continue to perform well, and we'll all be really, really happy, And as far as Josh is concerned, I share a lot of the sentiments that other people do, and that's why I honestly don't have a lot to do with Josh, to be quite frank with you. We don't. I had the previous company I was in, not like the previous company that a lot of us came from. There was someone in my upline that I had major issues with, but who cares? He doesn't affect my business. I just do what I do, and I worry about my people that I have to worry about. And
there's always going to be one in the crowd.
Yeah, of course. When you got a big company, there's always someone you're not going to go along with. And if for some reason he decides to start issues or start trouble with, let me know. Believe me, I'll put Josh in his place. I've done it before.
But you're a lot bigger than him, too.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I could snap that kid like a twig. That's about as thick as he is.
But, that's not what it's about. It's about building your business, your company, and growing your your income. And I just basically stay to myself. I do my thing and move on. I
Right.
have Mike and a few other guys on the team here that we confide in, and if it's not for me, it's not for me. If it's working and it's great, hey, fantastic.
Yep.
So, you know, you
Yep.
got the 30 days, like you said, free. Try it on a demo. You don't have to spend no money. If you don't see no results, you know, hasta la vista. So,
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we'll all be doing that.
Right.
I think we'll all be hasta la vista if we don't see any results. So yeah, that's not going to be an issue. But that's
well,
what's
thank
so
you
nice
for
about
clearing up a lot of things. I know a lot of people were very disappointed losing a good thing, but, you know, there's always another thing that comes along. And so, you know, we'll just see. If it's for you, great.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be better. From what I heard, you know, everyone's scared of change or concerned about change, but a lot of times change ends up being for the better, right? A lot of times it does.
Yep.
And I truly believe that this is, again, going to be one of those times. I think a lot of us that are involved now, I think we're going to love the results that we're getting from the software. And I think those of us that choose to participate on the business side of it, it's going to just help us propel our business because we have a product that's excelling and overperforming and overachieving and, you know, bringing results to people. And so we can have confidence knowing that when we go out and we talk and refer and promote, we can have confidence, 100% confidence knowing that we're promoting a product that works. And so I'm excited about that. I really am.
Yeah, me too. And it's exciting to be, I mean, you know, you always hear about being on the ground floor of a launch. And if, you know, if the company does well, those who are in at first are going to reap the biggest benefits. And we're right here.
Well, I compare this to, I mean, most of you know I came from IML. A lot of us came from IML, right? That's where a lot of us met each other, was with IML.
We have about 3 minutes. Just
yeah, I'll do this really fast. I see the timer too. I'm watching it.
Okay, cool. All right, good deal.
I was in IML 3 years ago when they went through their major, I'm talking major overhaul of the company. I started, and the funny thing, it's ironic, the timing is exactly the same for me. I started with IML 3 years ago, January. They went through their major overhaul April that year, okay, a couple months later. Almost everybody left the company. Those who stayed, myself, Jason Brown, Brandon Boyd, you know, Matt Rosa, and a few other guys. Every one of us created massive success for ourselves once we came out of that short-term dysfunction. All right?
I remember that.
The transition for this is so much smoother than that was, even though it's a relaunch of a company and everything else, because they had kind of started the process of this, started the contingency plan a few months ago because they can kind of see the writing on the wall with Dave. This whole transition period is a lot smoother than that ever was. And that's why with this, most people aren't leaving. Most people with IML did leave. With this, most people aren't. So for those of us that are sticking around, those of us that are taking advantage of what we have here, those of us that are taking advantage of this relaunch with this awesome new software and a 30-day free trial, it's going to be an absolute springboard for anyone and everyone involved if they want to take advantage of it. Yep. And so I'm super excited about what this is going to do for people. The software is going to work for those that just want to use the software. And because the software works, it's going to explode people's businesses who want to participate, you know, on the business side. So I'm really excited moving forward.
Thanks, Arnold. That's awesome. Appreciate you so much. And I'll just
My
say
pleasure.
this, if anybody, I know we didn't get to everybody as far as questions go, but if you have questions, feel free to send them to me. I'll send them on to Arnold and he can respond and I'll get it back to you. I'll just play middleman. So, all right, guys, I hope that answered a lot of questions and appreciate y'all being on.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a great evening.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye for now.